for sure.
Ashna Rodjan, welcome back to Tom Rhodes Smart Camp. Wow.
Happy to be back, thank you. It's my pleasure to be on the podcast.
It's nice to come visit you in your beach little bungalow, and you live in so close to the ocean, which is awesome. But let's stick with philosophy. Before we go roller skating later, when you and I met, we bonded over philosophy, and
do you remember which one?
Well, I remember when we met for coffee,
yes.
and then I was telling you. You asked me if I believed in God, and I said I believe in God, kind of like Spinoza. The way he believed that God was nature and all powerful in nature. And then you pulled out of your purse a Spinoza book, and you go, do you mean this Spinoza?
Yeah.
So that was pretty awesome. And we've always talked about philosophy. I mean, you turned me on. What was that great book?
The book? William something.
I know you have it in your
Yeah,
purse.
it's in the other room.
But it's a little. It's got all the great philosophers in it. It's like a college course book.
Yeah, and I bought it in Irvine actually when I was doing the internship.
God, I hated Kant.
He's really tough.
He's the worst.
Yeah.
And Heidegger, boring. But
you think so?
I thought the other ones were. I really got off reading the book.
Yeah.
And then, you and I have had a great friendship, but we really got into Stoicism.
Yes.
Especially during the pandemic.
And before it became popular.
Is it popular now?
It's kind of popular now. I
Okay.
think because of, what's his name, Ryan
Holiday.
Yeah, Ryan Holiday.
So you gave me this great book, The Daily Stoic, and I've read it, pieces of it on the podcast before. And it's by Ryan Holiday, and every day you read a different Stoic philosophy thing or quote and his explanation of it and how it can improve your life today. So I read that all last year. Last year, 2021 was probably one of the worst years of my life. I spent so much time alone, and I was in a really dark place from witnessing the suicide in November 2020, and then there was the almost violent overthrow of democracy in January 2021.
That's right.
And then I was alone for the first 6 months of last year, and I never felt this before. I had so much anxiety, I was afraid to leave my apartment for a few months.
Yep. Yeah.
And
I remember that.
Because it was death in the air with the virus, with COVID, and this woman's body fell out of the sky and landed right next to me when she committed suicide by jumping off that parking garage. And then it seemed like America was... it was just going to be political violence everywhere. Mm-hmm. So...
And your jokes were not safe. Did you feel that as well?
With like comedians getting attacked or...
No, that you were not free to joke about things. It got more extreme.
No, I never felt that way. I was just, I didn't start to feel better until June 2021 when I got to start doing sets again.
Yeah.
So I went over a year without performing. So I felt like I lost my identity, who I am as a person. I mean, I enjoyed the time off. But the first 6 months of 2021, I was in a dark place and I didn't see humor anywhere.
I remember that.
And I was afraid to leave my apartment. So you gave me this book, Christmas 2020, The Daily Stoic, 366 Meditations on Wisdom, Perseverance, and the Art of Living. So reading that every day helped me. I'm still reading it. Full disclosure, it's my bathroom book. And I always start the day reading that day's thing. And
another thing that your fans should know is that you highlighted the first year. You highlighted.
I always highlight the books I read. So it's easy to go through it now and read my highlights. Every book I read, I have read as an adult, I highlight, and then it's easy years later to pull the book off the shelf, and you can break down and refresh yourself on what was most interesting or powerful about it. So then I found this book, and I bought it for both of us, I bought you a copy. It's called Breakfast with Seneca, A Stoic Guide to the Art of Living. And it's by David Fideler. And I love the Daily Stoic. It helped me last year when I was really in a dark place, because it's the Stoicism is all about overcoming adversity and difficult shit and keeping your mind right. It's not what happens to you, it's how you react to it.
Yes.
And like this, there's so many great basic Stoic things. Like the Stoics believed that anger was a sign of weakness and that you should control your emotions. And the Stoics obviously never sat in LA traffic on the 405. I could see Seneca losing his shit. Come on, asshole! Step on the gas, fuckstick. But then this book, which I read this year, Breakfast with Seneca, was like a great refresher course on all the important things of the tenets of Stoicism.
And it's well written, because I think during the 2 years, we bought for each other quite some philosophy books.
Yeah.
Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
Right? Another one about Stoics.
I think there's an Epicurus book on happiness.
That one
I
as
gave
well.
you that one.
Yeah.
And there was another Seneca book on anger that I read.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the big thing, is just controlling your emotions.
Oh, you got it from that one.
Not getting angry. No, I think from overall. And I like that you said we spent the pandemic becoming Stoics. I thought that was a cool thing, because
that's a powerful thing to say.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm saying that is because from all those books, this one is the best.
The Breakfast with Seneca.
Yeah.
I love it because it's such a great overview of what's most important to know.
Yes.
About. So let me read you these highlights from. This is from the introduction, and this will tell you basically everything you need to know. I had discovered a wise mentor and companion who offered a steady stream of reliable and practical advice about the human condition, human psychology, and how to live a happy, flourishing life. What I also discovered in Seneca's writings is that nothing significant has changed in human nature over the last 2,000 years, which made everything he had to say contemporary. That's the most important thing. That, human nature never changes. Our technology gets better. The countries change, politics change, all this different shit. But human beings are still reacting to the same emotions we have. Like the people in ancient Rome, the people in the Bible had the same emotions that we have.
Oh, that's nice to say that.
Yeah, and the people 100 years ago, 500 years ago, they all had these same emotions. Where we think we're so advanced with our phones and flush toilets and soft paper to wipe your ass with, nothing's really changed about how we react. There was a great thing. I've had this this love story with this woman in Canada, and because the news in the United States is so extreme. On my Sirius XM, I've been listening to the CBC, which is like the Canadian...
CBC?
The Canadian...
You never told me this.
And only in the last 6 months. So I'll put on the CBC, and it's the Canadian Broadcasting Company. And they will interview writers. The news is nicer. It's with less attitude and all that. There was a thing, someone on there a week ago talking about the brain, and they said that you often hear the human brain compared to computers, but that's not accurate.
I remember that studying psychology, yeah.
Because a computer you can put in a basement, in an attic, in a cold place, a warm place. Any situation you put a computer, it's going to do what a computer does. The human brain you put in different situations with different people is always going to react differently. And that's why you shouldn't compare the human brain to a computer.
Yeah.
But you got your master's degree in cognitive psychology. And that's the study of the brain and memory, right?
Yeah, how the brain works. How the brain processes information, basically.
So all this goes together, all this information. That human nature hasn't changed. We have emotions, our thoughts. We haven't evolved as creatures.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is that for you a relief to know that, or are you...
Well, I mean, it makes me frightened
Disappointed.
because, like back to that Rufus Fear's wisdom of history thing, that like human nature never changes, and people prefer strongman dictators to democracies, and countries are not driven off cliffs and great empires destroyed by trends or masses. Great empires all end from the decision of one person, that being asshole tough guy dictator.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's from the wisdom of history.
Huh.
The Rufus Fear guys that I love.
Of the Great Courses?
Great Courses, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he's great. Yeah.
I wanted to have him on the podcast, but he died like 10 years ago. So I was 10 years too late. So this is a couple more things from the introduction. Our lack of confidence does not result from difficulty. The difficulty comes from lack of confidence.
I like that. That's
And talking to you helped me figure out a lot of things about myself in the course of our relationship. And one of them, you told me my greatest strength is my confidence.
It is.
And I that's my superpower. And I think you're right. It's how I've been able to, go on stage, fearless, travel the world, do all these different things. And then my weakness is my anger. You helped me figure out. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it as a weakness. I just see a good part of yourself in overdrive. That's a different way of seeing it, right? That you have a certain talent. Say for me, it's a love of learning. If it's perfectly on a sweet spot, I could balance it in my life. But sometimes it's an overdrive, because sometimes I need to research something before I can do it. So I wouldn't say it's a weakness, right?
Okay, I understand. But, for simple grammatical breakdown, superpower versus weaknesses.
Okay.
Seneca stressed how philosophy and friendship should go together. As he wrote, the first promise of real philosophy is a feeling of fellowship, sympathy, and community with others.
I love that.
Because Seneca's principal works are letters and essays written for specific Roman friends in an intimate and conversational style, a spirit of friendship permeates his writings.
Oh, I love that.
And that's what's the nice thing about reading Seneca.
Yeah.
Because his most famous works are Letters to a Young Stoic, which he wrote these letters to this guy, this advice, and
it feels like he's talking to you,
talking
right?
to you directly.
Yeah. And he's having insights, and he writes it on paper, like, wow, I just figured it out, and
it's good. It's about like not getting carried away with like fame or money and popularity and like what was going on in Rome at the time. You can all equate that to different situations of people who want to flaunt their successes or dominate their work and get tons of money and all these different scenarios that and how to conduct your life. Like my friend Sam Coleman, when I lived remember I used to do those happiness interviews a long time ago. Mm-hmm. So I had a video camera and I had this set of like 30 questions I asked everybody. Mm-hmm. And it was all like questions about what makes you happy. And the last question was, what advice would you give to the people of the earth? And he said, read Seneca. Yeah. I mean, I interviewed Sam. Remember I did an episode after I read a Seneca biography, because he was a complete failure. In his life, he didn't live up to the things that he said.
Preach it.
Well, he got involved with... His life was fascinating. He worked for one emperor, and then he was exiled, and then he got come back because he was Nero's
advisor?
Tutor.
Oh, tutor, yeah.
As a kid. Nero's mother got Seneca because Seneca was such a smart, respected guy. Mm-hmm. So he was his tutor. And then Nero was nuts. Fiddled as Rome was burning. Apparently also blamed Christians. So they could kill tons of them. And he ordered Seneca to commit suicide after, and he had given Seneca great wealth. And it's everything that Seneca preaches against. That like, if you get caught up in these like, this greed and these evil schemes of wanting to be a successful politician, wanting to be a successful businessman and stuff like that, the shit can catch up to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Don't be seduced by Fortuna.
Yeah, or doing things that are beneath you.
Yeah. I think he saw it firsthand, and what I like about it is that he really thought about it, what he saw, and is this good, is this bad?
Well, there's so many elements of good advice in all of it. So after Sam Coleman told me that years ago, I think I read Letters.
Did you really?
Yeah, that was the first thing I read. And I think it's in that book where he says drinking alcohol is self-induced insanity.
Oh.
And like I used to drink heavy when I read that, but that line always stayed with me, you know, because you're partying all the time, you're getting wasted, you're making bad decisions. And
do you think a lot of the Bible contains Seneca's teaching?
So I mean, supposedly it had some kind of influence.
Because it reminded me of drinking is for fools. That's in the Bible.
Oh,
I remember that part.
What's that one line in the Bible that as a fool returns to his folly? Oh no, or the way a dog returns to his own vomit, a fool returns to his own folly. That's
pretty brilliant.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking for. Significantly, the Stoics weren't just interested in improving their own lives; they were interested in improving the lives of all humanity.
Wait, let me grab my book.
Seneca was born around 4 BC, 4 years before Jesus was born, to a well-to-do equestrian family or family of Roman knights in what is now the city of Cordoba, Spain. His father, Seneca the Elder, 54 BC to AD 39, was a teacher of rhetoric and oratory. And that's what Seneca became, and he taught Nero rhetoric and oratory. So, you know, kind of...
Is that presentation?
How to speak in public, how to, you know...
What you do.
Yeah. Like today, being an excellent communicator was a vital skill for creating a successful career in the Roman Empire. And Seneca's family excelled at this.
I like this part. Okay, this is in the middle of something, right? These two ideas, that knowledge is critical for happiness and living a good life, and that philosophy is a kind of therapy for the soul, were essential foundations on which Stoicism was based.
I love that. Philosophy for the soul.
Yeah.
Like that line
Therapy
remember
for
I was
the soul.
saying a few years ago, I think comedy clubs are hospitals for the soul.
Ooh, like that.
And that we take sad people and cheer them up.
Yeah.
And send them back in the world, you know, more cheerful than when they came in. Or whatever. So I like that therapy for the soul.
Me too.
In the previous century, Rome had been a republic, but with the dissolution of the republic, the newly created Roman Empire possessed, for all intents and purposes, absolute powers, which led, of course, to terrible abuses. The reigns of Caligula, Claudius, under which Seneca lived, were corrupt beyond imagination and filled with examples of murders, poisonings, and assassinations. Sexual infidelity, including reports of incest, exiling innocent people from Rome, brutal torture, and other terrible acts, many of them based simply on whim. It was like a television soap opera gone bad in the worst possible way, but with deadly real-life consequences. So,
like the Game of Thrones.
So, I mean, imagine the delicate life that was to navigate and try and not piss off powerful people who could, have you disemboweled or thrown to the lions for entertainment. Just like modern living.
Yeah, it is.
The wealthy citizens of Rome had developed consumerism into a fine art and reveled in physical luxury and hedonism. As in our time, when we can go into a supermarket in the middle of winter and buy oranges and avocados grown halfway around the world, the Romans had developed international trade to such an extent that rare goods, foods, and luxury items flooded into Rome from distant lands. The wealthy built seaside villas crafted out of exotic imported marble, which featured spectacular views of the ocean, swimming pools, and elegant baths, and every luxury imaginable. Some cooled their drinks and swimming pools during the hot summer months with snow and ice transported over vast distances. Others hosted extravagant feasts, dinners, and parties, often costing astronomical sums of money, with the rarest delicacies imported from around the world, which they then vomited out to make room for more. Whereas the Romans had lived modestly in earlier times, this was no longer the case.
Just like in LA.
Wow. That would kill the vomiting to make room or for more food or to stay skinny. That's
And that it was normal to do that. That's crazy.
All right, you want 2 more highlights before this?
Yeah, then I want to do my highlights.
You got it. The simple reason these things sound commonplace today is because human nature hasn't changed. While our culture today is far more advanced technologically, in a psychological sense, we are exactly the same as the people of Seneca's time. We are complex creatures who suffer from greed, ambition, worry, fear, grief, anger, financial anxiety, sexual desire, and addictions, along with a desire to be good people and to make the world a better place. All those famous men you see strutting about grandly possess gold leaf happiness. Look inside and you'll see how much corruption lies beneath that flimsy veneer of status.
Flimsy veneer of status.
Wow.
Yeah. So you painted a picture of his life and what he had to deal with, what kind of world he was in, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to the Stoics. And they were always concerned with the question, what is needed to live the best possible life? Which is kind of exciting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this...
That's why we read this stuff, to gain tools.
Yes, I love it. Epicurus. Empty is that philosopher's argument by which no human suffering is therapeutically treated. For just as there is no use in a medical art that does not cast out the sicknesses of bodies, so too there is no use in philosophy unless it casts out the suffering of the soul.
Yeah, wow.
So philosophy was to heal your soul.
Yeah.
Isn't it great?
I love it.
Maybe that's why I always liked philosophy.
I think that's why I've always been attracted to it also.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay, there are 8 core teachings of Roman Stoicism. I'm going to name them and then I want to hear a reaction from you, okay? Okay, number 1. Live in agreement with nature to find happiness.
True. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, and during the pandemic, like since I bought that car, the one smart thing I did was took all these great trips out into nature, and there was that. Remember, I told you a story. There was when I used to play Toomler in Amsterdam, the comedy club there. When I first started going to Holland, there was this old Jewish man, and he was a psychologist, a therapist. And after I moved to Amsterdam, I thought I was partying too hard and making some mistakes. I felt like I needed to talk to somebody. For the first time in my life, I went to talk to this therapist, and only because he was a friend that I knew. And so he told me that he would have, when I went to talk to him, he told me that most people have the problems with their parents.
Yeah.
He said, your parents are divorced, you love them, you don't blame them. He goes, but anybody who's got serious mental problems, it all comes down to the parents. So he asked me all these questions up front, and he goes, yeah, you love them both, and you don't blame either one for the divorce, and my professional opinion is you don't have any problems and you should leave, which was nice. But that was a long time ago. I think I would get a different diagnosis today. But he said that he has a lot of patients with serious mental issues. Mm-hmm. And he said that he would have less clients if they went and walked in nature more often.
Yes.
So he felt that, and I think too, just being reminded even subconsciously that you're part of this whole huge living organism that's the earth.
Oh yeah, I so agree with you. I live close to the ocean, and what I do when I feel overwhelmed, I just go sit in front of the ocean, in front of the waves, and I just listen to the waves.
That's perfect. And I told you after I witnessed that suicide that I had to drive out to the ocean and sit there and look at the waves and hear the crash of the water, because I needed to be reminded of the permanence of the sea.
Yes.
Because I was in such a low spot. So.
And that's exactly what it is. Because you watch the waves, you hear the sound, and it's so calming and it's so soothing. And maybe it's because we have, we're 80% water. I don't know why.
75%, yeah.
75%. It just does something to you.
I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
The earth is 75% water. We're 75% water. So, yeah, I think being around large bodies of water is very calming.
Yeah. And another thing what I like about the nature core teaching, when I have a certain challenge to overcome, I remind myself, how does it work in nature? Like what would a plant do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for example, a plant that grows and it's getting more resilient every season. So it has to go through all the seasons and cope with it. And then sometimes I think, okay, that's what plants do. Okay, this happened to me. I gotta cope with it.
Well, you gotta adapt, and that's how humans survive. You keep adapting.
Yeah.
To whatever your situation is.
And then what I like about it is that I remind myself, okay, how is it in nature? I mean, that's what well,
it's funny. Last year when
right?
I also tried to watch a lot of nature documentaries. I told you this. But that depressed me even more because
because it was David Attenborough.
It was all these David Attenborough
things. We're going to die.
And like the animal kingdom was full of just as many assholes as our human kingdom.
And look what we're doing.
Like watching predator birds and it was seeing bears hunt down seals. I was it didn't cheer me up too much. But to go into regular nature and stay away from
bears.
The David Attenborough videos is better.
By the way, I love David Attenborough, and I think he's doing a great job showing people that that we're fucking up the earth. Just wanted to throw that in. Yeah,
true.
Okay, core teaching number 2: virtue or excellence of one's inner character is the only true good.
I believe in that more than anything, and that's what I'm always trying to make myself better, And I gave up the booze, which I never thought I'd be able to do in my life because it was such a big part of my personality, who I was. I quit smoking the cigarettes for 5 years. I started smoking again.
You still do?
A little stressed, yeah. But I'm always I'm working on and that's why I love the Stoicism. I'm trying to be the best person inside, where before when I was younger, I was driven by a lot of different
desires.
Desires, yeah.
Earthly desires.
Yeah, so I like having control in my life, and the listeners don't know. I started this year fatter than I've ever been in my life. I weighed 210 pounds. I've never been over 200 pounds in my life. So for the past 4 months, I became obsessed with hot yoga. And yesterday the scale said I'm 186 pounds. Mm-hmm. So I've lost 24 pounds. I like the mental discipline of it, the simple stretching exercises and stuff. And then doing it, getting to the classes on time, having my friggin' equipment, the little yoga mat and
yoga shorts
and all that. And it's like It's like doing comedy. You always got to be working on it. Mm-hmm. I like that. I think you said in order to be a great artist, you have to be a great person.
Yes.
So I really believe in that.
There's a lot of different camps about it, because you don't have to be a good person to make or create great art. I just think your art would be better if you're just a good person.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, what's the next one?
Some things are up to us or entirely under our control, while other things are not. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Especially the pandemic.
Yeah, and the woman who committed suicide and landed next to me.
For the Stoics, the only things fully under our control are our inner powers of judgment, opinion, and decision making, our will, and how we interpret the things we experience.
Yeah, that's the whole what you gain from reading Stoicism. What you're attempting to do by reading Stoicism is to control your emotions and your thoughts.
Great. Number 4. While we can't control what happens to us in the external world, we can control our inner judgment and how we respond to life's events.
Yeah.
We got that one. Number 5. When something negative happens or when we are struck by adversity, we shouldn't be surprised by it, but see it as an opportunity to create a better situation.
Yeah. That's the trickiest part of Stoicism, is to try and see in the shittiest situation how you can turn this into a positive thing in your life.
Yeah.
Because sometimes shitty things happen to you and you don't realize until 20 years later. Like, oh, that was great that happened. I was so heartbroken when that happened, when that relationship ended, when I lost that job, when whatever happened. But to have that mental temerity of seeing it fully like that at the moment is not so easy.
You know, one thing helps is
like
instead of saying...
like Jesus and the forgiveness stuff. I mean, it sounds great, but it's a lot harder to do it, to implement that.
Yeah, totally.
To forgive people sometimes.
One thing that helps is instead of saying, oh man, I got this problem, I got this issue, things are fucked up. The one thing that is great, if you immediately say, oh, I've got this opportunity.
Yeah.
I've got to create.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh, I've got this problem.
Why did that happen? Or who does that? What a great opportunity! This shitty thing happened to me. What a great opportunity!
Right. I mean, you don't have to say great. Just
no. But
what an opportunity!
If there was some preacher, I was flipping through Sirius XM, and the guy said, when shitty things happen in your life, you should look at it like, what is the best fertilizer? Is manure. Is shit. So when shitty things happen to you, that's great fertilizer that's going to produce the most beautiful flowers.
I like it.
And that's basically the same kind of mental outlook.
Yeah.
But,
I like it.
But when shitty things are happening to you, you're like, oh my God, why are those shitty things happening to me? But it's going to produce beautiful flowers.
All right. 6. Virtue or possessing an excellent character is its own reward.
Yeah, having virtue or an excellent, and that's what I think is the most important thing. Is trying to just have a good character, be someone of value.
Yeah. And
value yourself. You know, I've had self-esteem issues. Everybody deals with it, but to value yourself. I remember when I was younger, when things were bothering me or heartbreak happened to me, I would just dive into drugs and alcohol, and I was numbing myself. I was avoiding my feelings and doing some dumb shit that was beneath my character.
Yeah.
I think character and virtue, trying to be a virtuous person as much as you can, is the most valuable thing. But it doesn't seem to be a popular idea these days.
I think you're very good at it. You always try to do the classy thing in every situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always, and you always buy books, or you buy presents for people, or if you give people baseball cards, and you send it out to them with a nice postcard.
Yeah.
You always try to give love to people, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like putting sunshine in people's lives.
And here it comes. This also results in happiness.
Aha. There's that elusive thing I'm looking for.
This is a state of mental tranquility and inner joy. So you're in a good path.
Okay, I'm trying to get there.
Okay, last two. Real philosophy involves making progress.
Yeah.
Philosophy involves critical thinking, intellectual
Analysis.
analysis, and trying to understand the world scientifically. Okay, I like that one.
Yeah, they're all good.
And then 8, it is essential that we as individuals should contribute to society.
Yeah, we should try. So back to this breakfast. That was very nice, thank you. So
That's the same one.
Oh, that's from Breakfast with Seneca?
Of course.
Because you had it on top of the Daily Stoic. I thought you were reading from the Daily Stoic. Ah, that was great. Okay.
Because you skipped all of this, and then you went to talking about Rome and how...
That was from the introduction.
I know, but you missed the 8 points. That's why I wanted to...
Oh, I didn't highlight them.
You didn't highlight the points.
Hilarious.
You just highlight how shitty it was and
that's
greed
hilarious.
and corruption.
In your book, you highlighted the most 8 important things you should know, and I didn't. That's hilarious.
The core teachings.
Every brain takes things in differently. That's funny. Okay, no good thing is pleasant to possess without friends to share it with.
Yeah, this is my favorite chapter, and here's where I'm at. It's about friendship.
Yeah. Well, it's, look at it. Our story, a lot of people are amazed that we're still great friends. And, how could we not be? We went through so much stuff together. And you've been one of my best friends in Los Angeles since we got divorced. And just the certain handful of friends in my life. And it's funny, like I told you how I had all these beautiful old leather bound, these leather photo albums. Mm-hmm. So I just cleared them out a few days ago. And it was pictures from 25 years ago. So it was from like a couple of, past relationships. But then there was tons of friends that weren't friends anymore. So many people I thought were the most important people in my life 25 years ago turned out to not be the most important people in my life, and they weren't looking out for me. Oh. And they weren't great friends. But at the time, I thought these are my most important people, and they're in my photo album. And I think you only get a small handful of true friends in your life, and that over the course of time, a lot of people reveal themselves not to be such good friends, or so reliable when you need them,
Yeah. And also, you changed as a person. What is that Joan Didion quote? I already miss who I was, or something like that.
Oh, well.
Oh, no. I gotta now look for it.
You gotta look it up.
Yeah.
Any Joan Didion reference is good. Why don't I read this while you look it up?
Yeah, that's what I want you to do.
For both Aristotle and Seneca, no human life can be fully satisfying in isolation. Well, that's what I've been doing wrong. I've been isolated for the last year and a half. Without real friendships based on the love and knowledge of others, especially important, by spending time with others and engaging in dialogue, we can also develop our inner qualities. Friends are like mirrors to one another, because when you see good qualities in another person that aren't developed in yourself, it inspires you to improve your character, to become a better person. That's what good quality friends do. Yeah. They make you become a better person.
You make me a better person,
You make me a better person. We always help each other with knowledge and work things that I've had.
I sent you articles.
Yeah.
That I think a comedian should know about.
Yeah, I always like that. There's a lot of shit I would have missed had you not sent me an article.
Here's a code.
Read it.
I have already lost touch with a couple of people I used to be.
Wow, what a great quote. Wow. As Seneca realized, only when you become aware of your faults or what you might lack is it possible to make real progress. That's kind of like that Alcoholics Anonymous thing. The first step to solving the problem is admitting you have a problem, but that might be a little too much of a stretch. Okay. For Seneca, making progress in life is not an isolated experience. It involves friendship, spending time with kindred spirits, and receiving a helping hand from others. The Stoics believed strongly in the value of human community. The highest kind of friendship, in theory, would exist between perfectly wise people. But since perfectly wise people don't even exist or are extremely rare, the next best kind of friendship exists between people devoted to each other by making inner progress to become better human beings. While all friendships have value, the most remarkable are those that help us and others to understand the world and ourselves more deeply.
Chapter 1 is finished. That's so funny. I highlighted the 3 levels of friendship. You totally missed that.
I guess. Well, see, that's a good thing. We have two. We have the same book, 2 copies of the same book out, and my highlights are different than yours.
That's funny.
That's funny.
That's a funny podcast.
Okay, so tell me what I missed.
Yeah, the most important one. No, okay. This is actually important because friendship is so difficult, especially when you're older. It's difficult to grow a friendship. It's difficult to get together and grow it, right?
Yeah.
But it's also difficult to be vulnerable, like when you were kids. It's difficult to open up to somebody at an older age, don't you think?
Yeah, and there was something I read not long ago that friendship is based on mutual forgiveness. That you got to lasting friendships. You have to forgive people for. But I mean, that's everything. That's what I learned in my last relationship is you got to allow people to have bad days. You know?
The way you said it was hilarious. Yeah, you do that with me.
You gotta forgive people. If somebody's
grumpy, somebody's
grumpy,
yeah.
Somebody pissed, has a pissed off moment. There's this, like, some people you wouldn't do that for.
Yeah.
Like, fuck that guy, fuck that girl, whoever.
Yeah.
I don't need that person in my life. Well, they got pissed off about I left the jar on the capers open, in the fridge or something stupid, But real friends who care about each other, you let little shit slide. You let, as long as it's not big shit, like somebody stealing money out of your account or
betrayal. Yeah, I see that. I can see that. That's good. Yeah. Oh, you want to hear it?
Yeah, keep going.
Okay, 3 levels of friendship. Because, what is friendship? I remember this when I was young. I had really hard time connecting with people. I kind of still do, actually. And then I read philosophy. I was looking for the answer in philosophy, and I found Aristotle. And remember that he helped me a bit.
Aristotle was your first fire, the spark in the philosophy.
Yeah, because he had his whole philosophy about friendship, what friendship is, and I just devoured the pages, and I became a little bit more knowledgeable about friendship.
Yeah.
It helped me a lot, Okay, so in this book, Breakfast with Seneca, he comes back. So I'm really happy to see him again,
nice.
Right? Yeah. So according to him, Aristotle, it's crucial. Wait, one moment. Okay. The most basic level of friendship, Aristotle explains, relies on mutual advantage. We can see these kinds of advantage friendships as resembling connections you might make at a networking event for work. Right? So that's the basic level. And then you have next form of friendship relies on mutual pleasure. These pleasure friendships consist of people who enjoy one another's company, like playing chess together or going to a cafe.
So this
together.
is the mutual benefit. The
advantage. No, that was the one before.
Okay.
This is mutual pleasure.
Okay.
And then the deepest level of friendship for Aristotle, is however based on mutual admiration, in which each person sees something he or she admires in the other person's character. These character friendships are based on something good or virtuous you notice in another person. It's nice, huh?
Very nice. Yeah.
Character friendships require trust and an investment of time and are the types of bonds that can easily last a lifetime. Aristotle called this kind of friendship perfect, and it involves sharing your inner life with another person. Like all friendships, it involves genuinely wishing well for the other person.
Nice.
Your comments, please.
No, I mean that should be it. You should always, with your love partner or your friends, you should always be wishing them well or hoping they succeed or helping them succeed if you can. You know, you shouldn't have jealousies or unreasonable anger with the people that you care about the most. So yeah, that's.
I like the admiration part as well, and he calls it character friendships. So you admire.
And I think it's important about
character.
The big thing about the Stoics is your time is your most valuable quality. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that's repeated over and over in all this stuff I've read about Stoicism. That and so many people take your job, your relationships, and people cut away pieces of your time, and you only have so much time to yourself. But that's why it's so important to not cut out your time to people who don't deserve it. Mm-hmm. And to people who are beneath your character or might inspire you to be a more just shitty person.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like I don't miss hanging out in dive bars, but years ago I really loved traveling all over the world and look at that fucking dirty ass raw place. And then, I did thousands of those, and like not a lot of great conversations are happening in those places. A few handful of times, but it's like the people that you choose to spend your life. You should, you got to allow a few morons into your life because not everybody's a genius. But I think you should try and have quality people in your life who inspire you to be a better person, better driven in whatever your career path is,
Yeah, and make you higher. How do you say that?
Just to lift you up.
Lift you up? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Seneca believed that time is our most valuable possession. Here we go. Because our lives are finite. Each person has only a limited amount of time remaining. Many people, however, and for whatever reason, don't value their time and waste their lives on meaningless pursuits. Then, as they reach the end of their lives, they finally realize the mistake they've made and experience a deep sense of regret.
We can just do chapter 1.
Okay.
We'll do chapter 2 next time.
Okay. Oh, hey, that's...
Yeah, because I noticed you're going through it like really, really fast.
Okay.
Yeah, this is... Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, that's a good place to... Wait, are these the three things... Wait, let's get to... Should I... Can't leave them on that.
No, I don't want to leave them on that. But let's talk a little bit more about what we just read. Otherwise it's so fragmented what we are doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about what? We talked about the core...
Friendship is really important.
Yeah.
Your time is the most valuable commodity that you have. Anger is a sign of weakness. You should control your emotions. And you should try and control your thoughts on how things react to you. And no matter what shitty thing happens, try and see that this is a moment of opportunity. Right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. What I would like to add is I've been also being a great fan of Epicurus. His philosophy is that in the perfect world, we would have communities where we'd be living, and that friendship was the higher level of relationship that you can have with a person, even higher than just having a relationship.
Yeah.
So his dream was living in communities with all your best friends, having a purpose in that little society, and having a balanced life with being healthy, making your own food. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like that's my dream as well, to have a lot of
that's
people around
nobody's
me.
ever been able to pull it off. And
I know it has a bad.
Van Gogh wanted to do the communal artist colony. And,
Oh my god, I love those stories.
Any communism countries and things like that.
I know, but it has such a bad rep.
I think that the best you can do is have your small community try and get enough money to have a nice home.
Yeah.
And
have friends over. That's what I'm saying.
Have friends over, and you have your own little small empire.
That's what I.
And you try and perfect yourself on a small level, or whatever your space in this world is. Mm-hmm. Whether or not you're a restaurant employee, an airline employee, a stand-up comedian, a musician, whatever. Just try and carve out the nicest little life. And surround yourself with people that will bring out
that admire you.
Well, yeah,
and you admire them.
I think it's caring for others and helping, making the other person, your friend, your lover, your family, whoever. Family sometimes not forgivable, but to help someone become the best version of themselves.
Yes.
To be the best you is what the people in your life is what you should naturally get, like photosynthesis from the sun hitting flowers. The friends you choose in your life should naturally help you become the best you.
I like that. Amen.
Amen. Hooray and hallelujah. Okay, so anything else you want to add? I think that's
it. It's getting hot in here, and you're looking at the clock.
Yeah.
You have to leave. Yeah.
No, I don't. No, no. I wanted to see how long we were recording.
Oh, I felt like rushing off. All the time.
No.
Do that.
No, I was glancing at the clock.
Oh, shit.
And we've hit like an hour now. But no, about every
did an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Every 10 or 15 minutes, I've looked at just.
I thought you were hinting me like, okay.
No, that's hilarious. No.
Let's move on.
No, and you didn't seem like you were walking fast. So, the other thing that I think that could improve your life, other than Stoicism, which we both really love Stoicism and reading about it and just being refreshed with these ideas all the time, is great for happy living. But I think the other tools that are helpful for me has been doing hot yoga lately.
Yeah.
And right now, one of my favorite forms of experiencing happiness, you and I are going to go roller skate.
Yes.
Along the Pacific Ocean.
And it's a great little boulevard. It goes from south to north, right?
Yeah.
And it goes gradually from rich mansion houses to the urban cool people, where you have like all this cool salsa or whatever music is going on, bongos,
lowrider cars, and
roller skaters as well. With a DJ. So it's really a cool.
This stretch ocean. I think this is the nicest beaches in Southern California here, and Belmont Shore. And
Belmont Shore, baby.
I think one of the best things about living in Southern California is this jogging bike path that goes along on the beach, north and south for 30, 40 miles this thing runs?
I think so, 30 miles.
Along the Pacific Ocean?
Yeah.
And there's been times when I've been down, like you got me to buy those Bose headphones, the noise canceling things, and you told me to get them for years, and I didn't. I didn't get it until last year, and then so I never really experienced. I didn't. Yeah, okay. I mean, I can just put in my little earbuds, But also in the last year when I've had difficulties, I've come out to Santa Monica and Venice Beach, and I'll roller skate with my headphones on. And then also, you remember the best memories of my father and my sister when I lived in Los Angeles in the 90s was we used to get together and rollerblade that was popular in the 90s, but that same area. So it's so nice to go to the ocean, listen to music, listen to a podcast, listen to whatever, and skate along the ocean. And you talk about nature, you got these massive mountains to the north beyond Malibu. And then you got the beautiful Pacific Ocean. And it's just, that's good cleansing for the soul.
Yes.
As is everything we just talked about.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So let's go roller skate.
Okay. In closing, do you have any wisdom for the people of the earth?
Read Seneca.
Yes. Read Seneca. And Breakfast with Seneca by David Fideler is a friggin' great book, as is The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. And I really enjoy Ryan Holiday's Instagram account.
You told me that, yeah.
So he'll do these. Not all of them are great, but like most of the time, because he's always quoting Marcus Aurelius and Seneca and Epicurus, and just little Stoic sandwiches, little finger sandwiches.
Finger food.
Yeah, where hopefully this is a nice breakfast of Stoicism that we just laid out for the fine humans who listen to this show.
Of the people of the earth.
People of the earth,
throw down your weapons.
Throw down your weapons. Long may you run, and hooray for humanity.
Long may you run, Tom.
Long may you run, Ashna. Hooray.